Aladdin jumped on his horse and returned home in the same order as when he arrived, through the same crowd, cheered by the people, wishing them all happiness and prosperity. As soon as he entered the house, he held the magic lamp as he was accustomed to doing. The genie does not wait, appears and is ready to serve. Aladdin said, "I wholeheartedly commend the exact execution of what I have requested so far by the power of the lamp, my master. Today I hope for the sake of my love for the master, if possible, he will show enthusiasm and obedience like never before. I hope to build for me a castle worthy of Princess Badrul Baudur as quickly as possible, opposite the palace at a reasonable distance. I let him measure and choose the materials himself, which means he can freely use marble, jasper, agate, blue stone and the smoothest, multicolored marble to build on the roof of his castle. Built a large living room with a domed roof, 4 equal sides, seats made of solid gold and silver spaced apart, 24 windows, hung with 24 blinds artistically decorated, balanced with metal. Diamonds, rubies, sapphires. I want to leave behind a work that has never been so perfect, how no one in this world has ever seen a similar castle. The castle has a front yard, a large courtyard, a garden and above all, there is a treasure trove full of gold and silver coins in a place I will tell you about later. I also want the castle to have a kitchen, a reception room, a warehouse, a furniture warehouse with precious wooden tables and chairs for the seasons and to match the beauty of the castle, and stables full of beautiful horses and trainers. Train the horse, take care of the horse, Don and number 39. Forget to equip yourself with hunting equipment. There must also be transaction managers, kitchen staff, and female slaves necessary for serving the princess. God understands my intention, go to work and come back when finished." Aladdin assigned the task of building the castle to the genie when the sun had just set. The next morning, as soon as Aladdin woke up, the genie of the lamp came in front of him and said, "And quote, boss, your castle is finished, come and see if you are satisfied." And quote, if he could N and hash 39. Answer, he really wanted to, but God brought him there right away. He saw that the house far exceeded his expectations and constantly praised it. The God took him everywhere, everywhere he saw only wealth, cleanliness and beauty, with slaves, all dressed according to their rank and assigned work. God did not forget, as one of the main things, to take him to see the treasure trove with someone guarding it. Faithfully guarding it. There are money bags of different sizes according to the amount of money they contain, stacked up to the ceiling, in order. Looks really pleasing to the eye. Going outside, the god led him to the stables where people were busy taking care of the most beautiful horses in the world, to the warehouses with everything necessary for horses. When Aladdin looked at every house, every room in the castle, from top to bottom, especially the living room with 24 windows, he saw only wealth, splendor with all the amenities he did not expect, he said. With Genie, I could N and hash 39. Be more pleased. There and number 39. One more thing I haven and number 39. Told the god because I haven and number 39. Thought of it yet. To spread the best velvet carpet from the door of the princess and number 39. Room in this castle so that she can walk on the carpet when she comes from the palace. I and number 39. Be right back, said the genie. The genie disappeared and a moment later Aladdin saw that his wish had been granted. He did not know how. The god returned and took him back home while the palace gates were opened. The gatekeepers were surprised to see in the formerly empty space a castle surrounded by walls, and from that side a velvet carpet stretched up to the king and number 39's door. At first they could n and #39 tell the difference, but they were even more surprised when they looked closely at Aladdin and number 39's magnificent castle. News of a strange wonder soon spread throughout the palace. The Prime Minister arrived at the palace gate and was no less surprised than the others. He was the first to bring news to the king, but thought it was a witch. The king said, "Prime Minister, why do you think you are a witch? Khan knows as well as I do that this is the castle built by Aladdin, with my permission in front of you for my daughter to live in. After the wealth we have seen, we are still surprised that he built this castle so quickly. He wants to surprise us and show that with money in hand one can perform miracles." The time for the court session had come, so they didn't and #39 talk about that issue anymore. When Aladdin was brought home by the genie and disappeared, he saw his mother getting up and starting to dress in an outfit he had brought her. It was almost time for the king to finish his court, and Aladdin gave it to his mother so she could go to the palace along with the female slaves of the lamp genie. He wanted his mother to tell the king that he had come to have the honor of accompanying the princess in the evening to the new castle. She and the female slave both dressed like queens and left. Aladdin rode on horseback, not forgetting to bring the lamp that brought him to ultimate happiness, and his entourage arrived at the palace the day before, solemnly heading to his castle. When the gatekeepers saw Aladdin and number 39's mother coming, they immediately reported to the king. The king ordered groups of brass, trumpets, flutes, and oboe to wait on the mounds around the royal palace, playing harmonious music to announce the joy that echoed throughout the capital. Merchants began to decorate their shops and prepare bright lights for the night. The sewer workers quit their jobs, and people rushed to gather in the square located between the palace and Aladdin and number 39's castle. What surprised them so much was that they did not understand what miracle it was that showed them such a beautiful castle on the spot where the day before there was no materials or foundation. Aladdin and number 39's mother was solemnly welcomed in the palace, led by the chief eunuch into Princess Badrul Baudour and #39's room. As soon as the princess saw her, she quickly ran to hug and kiss her, invited her to sit on the sofa, and while the maid was preparing to dress her and decorate her with the most precious gems that Aladdin had given her, she treated her to a meal. Very delicious. The king came to prolong the moment of farewell with the princess before she went to Aladdin and number 39's castle to meet and congratulate her. Aladdin and number 39's mother had spoken to the king many times in public, but he had never seen her remove her veil as she did then. Although she is old, she still has features that clearly show that in her youth she was one of the beautiful women. The king had only seen her dressed simply, if not poor, but now he was extremely impressed to see her wearing clothes as rich and beautiful as the princess and number 39's. What pleased him was that Aladdin was cunning, intelligent, and reasonable in all things. At night, the princess said goodbye to her father. Their farewell was mixed with affection and tears. They hugged and kissed each other many times without saying anything. Finally, the princess left with Aladdin and number 39's mother on her left, followed by 100 beautifully dressed female slaves. The musical groups had continued to sing since the arrival of Aladdin and Number 39's mother, when they gathered together and began to walk behind 100 guards, as many black eunuchs walking in 2 rows, led by the commander of the surname. 400 young servants of the king walked in rows on both sides, each holding a torch, adding to the light of the palace and Aladdin and Number 39's castle, creating a beautiful source of light in the night. In that order, the princess walked on the carpet from the palace to the castle, and the closer she got, the closer the music of the group in front of the group became and mixed with the music resounding from the castle steps, creating a unique atmosphere. The echoes were mixed but very strange, adding to the joy not only in the crowded square but also in the 2 castles, the whole city and beyond. The princess arrived at the new castle. Aladdin was so happy that he ran to the room reserved for her to welcome her. His mother intended to make the princess recognize her son clearly in the crowd surrounding her. The princess happily noticed that he was very handsome. Aladdin saw the princess, respectfully greeted and said, "Dear princess, if I have the misfortune to displease you because I had the audacity to want such a lovely princess, I say you are to blame. It and Number 39's her beautiful eyes and charm, not me. My son-in-law, now I have the right to behave like this." The princess replied, "I obeyed my father and Number 39's orders and just wanted to meet you to say I had obeyed without regret." Aladdin was excited by the gentle and satisfying answer. He did not let the princess stand for long after the journey, which she was not used to. He took the princess and Number 39's hand and kissed it cheerfully, leading her into a large living room. Countless candles shined and the genie had prepared a wonderful party. The plates were made of solid gold and filled with delicious meat. The dishes, cups, and cupboards were all filled with gold and elaborately crafted. Other decorations are also completely consistent with abundant wealth. The princess was delighted to see so much wealth concentrated in one place, and said to Aladdin, "My son-in-law, I thought there was nothing more beautiful in the world than your father and Number 39's palace, but just looking at this living room alone I accept it." "See, I was wrong, princess," Aladdin answered and took her to the seat reserved for her. "Very honestly I know what to believe." Princess Boudoir, Aladdin and their mother sat at the dining table and suddenly a most melodious and touching concert accompanied by the enchanting voices of women lasted until the end of the meal. The princess was so fascinated that she said she had never heard music like that at her father and Number 39's castle. She did not know that those musicians and singers were fairies chosen by the genie. The late-night meal ended, people cleaned up quickly and a group of men and women dancers followed the musicians. They danced various dances modeled after local customs, ending with a man and a woman dancing separately, together with strange gentleness, each showing off their grace and dexterity in the dance. It was nearly midnight, and according to the custom of the time, Aladdin stood up and offered his hand to the princess, inviting her to dance with him, and thus ended their wedding. They danced very beautifully and were praised by the whole audience. At the end of the dance, Aladdin did not let go of the princess and Number 39's hand. They went together to the room where the wedding bed had been prepared. The maid undressed the princess, took her back to bed. Aladdin and Number 39's servants did the same and everyone withdrew. Thus ended the wedding ceremony and the wedding entertainment of Aladdin and Princess Boudoir. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.